Welcome back to Splatoon Project Inc. Part 8. So in this part we're accomplishing two things. We are inserting the brass inserts into the 3D printed parts, and we will also be spray painting all the parts. The process of inserting the brass inserts into the 3D printed parts is actually pretty simple. You're basically just going to use a heating element of some kind and push it into the 3D printed part. The brass insert is going to heat up and melt the surrounding plastic, and it's going to fuse into the part. Typically you could do this with a soldering iron, but there is like a special contraption, a special jig that basically is a soldering iron vertically that helps you insert the brass inserts more squarely, I guess, more perpendicular, so that it's not like off-center from where you want the fasteners to go into. And here you could see me use a soldering iron to install the brass inserts into the parts because I couldn't use the jig due to the rounded bottom of the parts. Also here I'm using a soldering iron because it's basically too tall. The part's too tall for the jig. So I'm kind of forced to use a soldering iron, but the concept is just you're heating something up and it melts into the plastic, and when the plastic cools it stays in place and it helps you have a hole to fasten into. So these cylindrical parts you're seeing are basically the fill tank that is hidden inside the ink tank. And I had to print it in parts because my 3D printer isn't tall enough to print it all in one go. It runs along the entire height of the ink tank, and it hides the water in a hidden chamber so that when you're emptying it, it kind of goes away. Just part of, I guess, the magic of it, and that's all the cylinders with their inserts installed. After installing the brass inserts, I then washed the 3D printed parts to make sure that the surfaces are clean and free of microplastic dust that would have stuck around during the sanding process. This basically preps the surface for painting, specifically priming the surface for applying multiple coats of paint. After washing, I put the parts outside to dry completely before I started the whole painting process. And here's is a jump cut. You see all the blue things on the part? That is masking tape. There's a lot of color combinations with the ink tank and the splatter gun, and just the process of applying tape was a bit of a chore. I used Krylon branded spray paint, so this is the primer, white primer. So I just basically put masking tape where on parts I don't need painted, so that we don't have to like issues with the fasteners. And then for the rest I just started priming them, and yeah, that's how they look like. Primed and ready to go for a crush coat of paint. And here I am spraying the first color for the parts. It's orange, citrus orange if I believe. I forgot to show the can on camera, but I am spray painting orange first because it's the largest color group of the parts. And this is actually the first time I've spray painted something in a long time, so I also oversprayed some parts, but overall it came out pretty good for a first time. Pretty glossy, pretty nice. And here I'm setting up parts to paint the next color, which is the gloss emerald green. And yeah, at this point I think I got the hang of spray painting, so there wasn't that much overspray. There were some, but not as much as the orange. And these are the next batch of parts to be painted with gloss citrus green. Same concept, just spray painting parts in large batches to be more efficient and be more cost effective with these spray bottles. These were expensive. They used to be like $3 something, but now spray paint has gone up to like $6-7 per can. So I'm really trying to maximize these cans. And here is just me touching up some spots that I've noticed that I missed the first time. Overall, it came out pretty good. I was concerned that the sun would ruin the drying finish of the paint, but luckily that wasn't the case. I think colder temperature affects how spray paint dries versus hot. After letting the paint completely dry, I applied a layer of UV clear using the same Krylon brand. You typically want to stick to the same brand of spray paint, and just applying the clear color or the clear layer will help it retain its color, and in terms of smearing, it prevents that pretty well. Here you're seeing me insert paper fillings into the top and bottom of the ink tank. So these parts actually sandwich the outer and inner clear tubes, and as such there's recesses that I don't want painted over, so I'm stuffing them with basically folded up strips of paper, and I'm also taping the holes that I don't want painted with masking tape. So going over the same process with these, I am applying primer first on the surfaces, and you can see the back there's a lot of holes because that's where the various pumps and all the other stuff, lots going on. But after hitting that with the primer, I'm hitting it with the emerald green, so just the same process as the splatter gun, but now within a more wider path of spray. And then once those parts are dried, I hit it up with the clear coat again, just multiple coats of that, let it dry, hit it again, and that's basically it. You prime the part, you paint it, multiple layers, wait for it to dry, apply multiple layers of clear coat, let that dry, and you're good to go. So yeah, thanks for watching. See ya!